one of the sporting capitals of the world, an Olympic city oozing style and sophistication. Now Barcelona welcomes the finest drivers on the planet as the curtain comes down on the 2012 FIA World Rally Championship. Their journey over the past year has taken them far and wide, through 4 continents, the toughest of terrain, against breathtaking backdrops. The undisputed star of the show once again, Sebastian Loeb, cementing his place in sporting history. 9 successive world titles now, the rest just relieved he's moving into semi-retirement.
I'm Sebastian Loeb, welcome to Rally Catalunya in Spain. Have a great time.
That's the plan, Seb, as the season's finale brings us to the Costa Dorada, where the Frenchman's unbeaten since 2005, and Rally de España presents a rare mix of gravel and tarmac, a unique challenge in prospect for all concerned.
You need to be able to change your driving style quite a lot in this rally.
It would have been nice to have a day of snow as well, actually, then it would have been perfect.
Sebastian Loeb and teammate Mikko Hirvonen have sealed a Citroën 1-2, so attention turns to the battle for third in the championship. Privateer Mads Osberg looking to keep his nose ahead for factory Ford pair Jari-Matti Latvala and Petter Solberg. In the manufacturer's standings, Citroën have comfortably maintained their stranglehold on the title, now stretching to 5 successive years.
Fra Wales og utover så har ting virkelig begynt å løsne, og vi har pushet hardt, hatt gode tider på etapper, hatt gode resultater, og har øket stadig etter det, og har skjønt også at nå må vi slå Jari-Matti og Petter for å kunne holde den plasseringen vi har, og det har vi hatt sterkt fokus på å gjøre, og det har vi tenkt å fortsette med.
Är du överraskad över att det har gått så här bra?
Ja, att vi skulle vara med och fighta om bronset, det var väl lite överraskande i början på säsongen kanske, men ju längre säsongen har gått så har vi märkt att vi har hakat på i toppen, så det är klart att vi har ju haft den tredjeplatsen som målsättning i alla fall sista halvan av säsongen.
I mina ögon är det här en jättenäsbränna för de båda fabriksförarna i Ford, Latvala och Solberg. Vad säger du?
Jo, det är ju helt klart, men de åker fabriksteam och vi åker privat, så att det känns ju inte mindre bra att vara med och slå dem såklart, och det är ju inte våran situation för nästa år sämre eller så.
Märker ni på dem att de är stressade?
Ja, lite grann. De sista tävlingarna förut har det inte varit så illa, men de senaste tävlingarna nu så har det varit lite grann. De har lite mera tillbakadragna på vissa tillfällen, helt klart.
The Rally WRC Rally de España continues with its base in the Costa Dorada resort of Salou, 95 kilometres southwest of Barcelona. Traditionally run as a pure asphalt fixture over the smooth-flowing roads of the Tarragona region, the opening day west of Salou is now run almost entirely on gravel, with the longest stage Terra Alta actually featuring a mix of both surfaces, which should make things interesting. So the first day run on gravel then, a qualifying stage would be needed to decide the opening road positions. With the stakes high, it would prove a lively start under the Spanish sun. Jari-Matti Latvala was on the edge at times in Salou and could only manage the 4th fastest time. And there was an even more spectacular outing for Chris Atkinson. The Australian coming close to rolling his mini John Cooper works. The quickest of all, though, was 7-time Spain winner Loeb. And a surprise second fastest was Evgeny Novikov, the young Russian using D-Mac tyres for the first time, just 1/10 of a second slower than the world champion. Another new feature for 2012 is a trip to the bustling heart of the Catalan capital, Barcelona, for the opening ceremony. A unique sight to see the WRC's finest in this historic city, and the Spanish fans, of course, turned out in their droves to meet their heroes. Barcelona also hosted the start selection process, and in front of a packed audience, it was Loeb first to choose, the Frenchman opting for 14.
The road cleaning can be quite important here, so we don't think it will be dusty, so we play for the road cleaning, and so we go further behind.
So this is how the cars head into day one. Chris Atkinson will lead the crews away. The big guns, though, are further down the field. Mads Osberg goes 6th, followed by Oyt Tanak and local star Danny Sordo. Thierry Neuville gets away just ahead of Petter Solberg and Jari-Matti Latvala, with Sebastian Loeb 14th away. So here we go then, a beautiful sunrise, but wet weather is forecast and it's going to make conditions treacherous out there. The rain has arrived on what is a big day for this man, Hans Weiss, former JWRC runner-up and making his debut in a WRC car this weekend for the Qatar World Rally team.
150, flauw rechts plus flauw links. En 50 rechts plus slow.
Oh, but that is a mistake already for the Dutch driver. Not the way he wanted to start his morning, but it is a sign how treacherous this road surface is. A lucky escape for the sports new boy, but he got away with that. It's a big weekend too for Roy Tanak. After taking his first WRC podium 3 weeks ago in Sardinia, it will have given the Estonian renewed confidence. Oh, but he too caught out by the slippery conditions and inches from sliding into the ditch there. A close call for Oyton Kolder-Sik. Action from the off this morning. Jari-Matti Latvala is into the stage now. He's running a combination of soft and hard tyres, but with the rain getting heavier, he may wish he'd gone for all softs. All over the place there and approaching the end of the stage. Keep an eye on the clock.
Jatkuu maali, vasen 4 pitkä, pidä kirraa. Heti oikein 4 miinus.
4:40.5, and that is the fastest through so far, but that time will undoubtedly be under attack from the Citroën boys, and they have made the right tyre choice. Both cars shod in soft Michelins. Mikko Hirvonen, fresh from his first victory in Citroën colours in Italy, is on it here, but it's getting incredibly slippery as the roads get muddier. And the rain is only getting heavier. Sebastian Loeb is just behind his teammate, and he will be regretting that choice for a lower road position. He's not losing too much time here, but with grip levels getting lower, this could be a tough morning for Seb and Mikko. Moving into stage 2 now. Martin Prokop is nearing the end of his first season at rallying's top table. The Czech driver's in 10th after stage 1. Safely into the flying finish of the Parcells test. Oh, but he's lost it after the stage. With the car damaged, that's the last we'll see of Martin today. Up at the sharp end, meanwhile, Mads Osberg has defied these horrendous conditions to make a really strong start in Spain. It's the Norwegians' turn to pass through the finish board, showing Prokop how it should be done here. And that is the fastest time through so far. Not far behind, fresh from his first podium finish in Sardinia. Oyt Tanak seems determined to finish the season in style. Mads Osberg did a 54.5. Oh, and that's the identical time to the Norwegian, and it's also enough to move Tanak into the provisional lead. And conditions do seem to be deteriorating with every passing car. Road position tactics have been thrown upside down. Thierry Neuville started well, running 5th after the opening test. Oh, but he's hit something. And this doesn't look good. Thierry is out. Rally de Spania 2012 already biting hard. That's 2 retirements this morning. The impact's ripping Neuville's wheel clean off. Here's Petter Solberg. He's right on the limit despite the mud bath that the road has become. And back with Petter's teammate Latvala now. Fast approaching the area that caught out Neuville. But hang on, that's Solberg's co-driver Chris Patterson at the side of the road, and there's Petter's car. It's right next to the corner that caught out Neuville. He must have hit the same obstacle. Once again, rotten luck for the former champion.
Yeah, driving okay, good, and then we were hit that ditch there, like a few other cars here, and then they broke the TCA.
So a wrecked suspension then, and 2 big names felled by the same obstruction. Let's take another look from Neuville's car. Clearly some sort of curb on the left corner, and that's all it took.
Sometimes you cannot explain how it can happen. It's so big disappointment. We just wanted to do well without taking risks, and that's what we were doing. And then we tire so early, I cannot explain.
So a devastated Solberg and Neuville will go no further today, and with Petter out, the onus again falls on Jari-Matti Latvala to bring forward a strong result on his final rally with the team before he moves to Volkswagen. Oh, but a mistake from the Finn as well. He was leading the rally before this stage, but he won't be now.
Towards the end of the stage, the left hand was really muddy, and this came as a surprise for me, so we slide off slightly and but went to the bushes, but everything is okay, so this was very slippy, that stage.
An interesting looking leaderboard then after stage 2. Oyt Tanak is our surprise front runner, just 1/10 of a second ahead of Osberg, with Hirven in third and Loeb dropping down to fourth. Welcome back to Rally RACC Catalunya Costa Dorada, where a recent switch to a mixed surface format has provided a unique challenge in the Spanish mountains. As we move on to the monster 44 kilometres of Terra Alta, both gravel and tarmac will be very much in evidence as the crews tackle both surfaces in the same test. And as you can see, there's no sign of the rain easing up. It's been a fantastic start for Mads Osberg in that adapter Ford Fiesta. Just look at the conditions out there, like driving on ice. The tarmac section's already tough enough using car set up for gravel. Oh, and Mads spins as he moves back onto the dirt, perhaps caught out by the instant change in grip. Osberg needs to keep it under control. He's not just fighting for a win here, but third place in the Drivers' Championship.
I lost maybe 10 seconds, a little bit more, so we tried to take it back towards the end, but I don't know if we managed.
And this is the man Mads is battling with. Our rally leader, Oyt Tanak, has revelled in these horrendous conditions so far. That podium last time out in Sardinia really has made all the difference to the young Estonian's confidence. Standing water everywhere, but fast approaching the end of the stage here. Oh, that is slower than Mads despite his spin, so Ott loses the lead. Further back, we've rejoined Jari-Matti Latvala. The Finn is well off the pace on his mixed tyre configuration. Off the gravel and onto the tarmac, the wet asphalt with very little grip, especially on gravel tyres. And Latvala just hasn't been able to get that Fiesta hooked up so far this weekend, and the former leader is now running down in fifth. Sebastian Loeb is still battling the conditions, but as every drop of rain falls from the sky, the stage conditions get worse and worse. You can see just how nasty the road surface is from our eye in the sky. Loeb leaving a spray of Spanish mud in his wake. And the casualties continue to mount. Local hero Danny Sordo, the latest victim.
But in special, this part of the stage was really muddy. We brake before this low corner, just brake, and the engine stop and the wheels lock. We start to ski in the mud, and we went out a little bit.
So we've had three different leaders in the first three stages. Osberg is now the man in the top spot. He's 2.7 seconds ahead of Tanak, with Hirven in third and Loeb still fourth. We are midway through the opening day here at Rally de España, an event that presents something of a unique challenge in the shape of that combination of gravel and tarmac stages. Adaptability is key around these roads.
You need to be able to change your driving style quite a lot in this rally, because always you go very smooth on tarmac, and even with gravel tires on tarmac, you need to try to be smooth.
It's a big difference. It's the grip level is a lot higher. You brake a lot later, you brake a lot deeper into the corner, and you are not having any oversteers and things like that.
As we saw on board with Jari-Matti, tests such as Terra Alta feature a mix of both terrains. So which setup and tyres should teams use when they face such a combination of surfaces?
As soon as there's a fair bit of percentage of gravel, you have to go with a gravel setup, because with tarmac you would puncture the tire, or you would damage the car because it runs too low. Basically, you know, when you run on gravel, it's a slippery surface and it's obviously bumpy, so you need to run the car a lot higher and with softer suspension to pick up the grip. So when you go on tarmac, you drop the car a lot lower. In the old days, we had active ride height, you know, where you could just press a button or with GPS lift the car and lower it, but all those things are banned nowadays.
Come the end of this opening day, the event will switch from predominantly gravel to fully tarmac for Saturday and Sunday, which is going to be a lot of work back at service, replacing a whole host of key components. As Brazil World Rally Team driver Daniel Oliveira now explains, starting with tyres.
The tarmac tire, normally we need to have more contact with the ground, so it's more like a slick and circuit racing tire. So we have more contact, more grip, so and we don't need, as we can see in the gravel, we don't need this big wall, so that in the gravel we need for the rocks and the huge impacts, bumping and these things. Good. Next step is the disc. As we know in the tarmac we came with much more speed normally than the gravel, and we need much more precise braking. As you can see here, it's much bigger. So the overheat is higher, the speed that became is high, so we need much more precise this to have a good brake and everything going well. So the next step we came and look easier here is the suspension. Here we have the gravel suspension. As we can see together with this, it's much longer. The highest difference, as we can see in the television, is the gravel tire is much more higher, and you can see the movement much more than the tarmac. So we have much more travel to work with the different surface and bumping in difficult roads like Greece. So we need to have much more travel to absorb this and have the good grip for the car, for the movement also. And the tarmac is much simple. You need to have a car much more close to a circuit. And normally you have much nicer roads, more flowing, fast speed, good precise brake. So we need more, a sticker car normally, much more precise, sensor of gravity much more lower. So everything to be like this.
Thanks, Danny. Back to the action, the second loop of 3 stages on this first day, with more fun and games on the mix of gravel and tarmac. And as you can see, there's little sign of the weather improving. Mikko Hirvonen has struggled running near the back of the field today, facing the worst of the muddy conditions. The Sardinia winner has managed to fight his way up to third, though. Oh, but a big moment for Mikko and Jarmo Lehtinen, off into the undergrowth briefly. I think they've got away with it, but with his teammates hot on his heels, that could be costly. And moving back to the epic mixed surface challenge through the 44 kilometres of Terra Alta, Chris Atkinson is already into the stage. But that is a very stationary John Cooper works with broken differential. He will go no further. The high attrition rate continues. But one man who has survived is WRC rookie Hans Weiss.
Remrechts in sloot, 30 hairpin links.
But the Dutchman really wide here, and he's hit that small tree. Thankfully, no serious damage done, and Hans is soon back on his way, but these tricky conditions still throwing up all sorts of problems.
It was so slippy, we just must survive, and we went also off 2 times, and 1 time we cut the whole tree, so it was a hard stage, and no, I'm happy that I'm here, and okay.
Nobody at the finish?
No, there's nobody. But it is incredible, you know, this is my 2nd time I have conditions like this, so I have to learn some big things, so thank you.
Weiss enjoying his challenging first outing at the sports top level then, and it's been quite a day for Mads Osberg as well. The Norwegian has made light work of these slippery roads and continues to build on his advantage out front. A terrific performance so far from Mads and Jonas Andersen. Oyt Tänak started the afternoon loop just a couple of seconds behind the top spot. The Estonian has really begun to struggle in these slippery roads. And that is another spin for Oyt. The M-Sport man having a really rough time out there, and he is going to slip down the order. One man moving in the opposite direction, though, is Jari-Matti Latvala. Now using all soft compound Michelin's Ford's Flying Fin is on the attack. With much of the field understandably opting for a safe pace, Latvala has thrown caution to the wind and is throwing that Fiesta RS through the sodden stages. He storms up to third place with the second fastest time in the mixed surface Terra Alta. One man who will go no further though is Evgeny Novikov. Immediately after claiming the first stage win for DMAC tyres, the Russian strong run has ended after sliding off the road and into a ditch. Just one stage remains on this breathless day one, and it's the brand new 2-kilometre blast along the Salou seafront. With Tanak slipping back, Loeb is now Osberg's closest challenger in second. Back on the tarmac here, and that is a taste of things to come for the rest of the weekend as we watch our leader Mads Osberg entertain the Spanish fans for the last time today. The Norwegian has been the undoubted star of the opening leg. In the most treacherous conditions, he's kept it neat and tidy to preserve his place at the top of the standings going into day two. And after a difficult start to the weekend, Sebastian Loeb has capitalised on Tanak's off to climb to second place overall. Carefully picking his way through the wet streets of Salou. And having won here in Spain since 2005, of course he'll be looking to reel in Mads over the next couple of days. So at the end of an extraordinary day here in Spain, Osberg's lead stands at just over 27 seconds from Loeb, with Jari-Matti Latvala a further 20 seconds behind, and remarkably closing out our top six is SWRC runner Craig Breen. So Mads sets the early pace, but there's plenty more pain in Spain to come, including an impromptu off-road excursion or two. Before that, the next big job for the crews, transforming the setup from gravel to tarmac, which the crack WRC mechanics will do in the time it takes most of us to change a puncture.
If you were your main dealer, that would be a couple of days job or a day's job. As it is, we could do it in 45 minutes.
Welcome back to the final round of the 2012 World Rally Championship, where a completely different challenge lies ahead for day two of the Rally de España. The 3 stages to come snake out to the northwest of host town Salou, and we're back on Spain's traditional tarmac. So for the second consecutive rally, we've had a crazy opening day, but in Spain the drivers now face a complete switch in surface. The 20 kilometres of La Masara's twisty tarmac roads are first. And here is our rally leader, the star of the opening leg. Can Mads Osberg hold on to his advantage of 27 seconds? The problem for Mads is he's facing the daunting prospect of holding off the finest asphalt driver the sport has ever seen. And unbeaten here since 2005, Sebastian Loeb will be determined to maintain that record on what could be his last Rally Catalunya. So with the world champion wasting no time engaging tarmac mode, let's enjoy this first taste of these fast-flowing asphalt stages. World champions actually struggled to match Osberg through the early splits. Let's see how he compares to the Norwegian's time of 11:40.8. He is quicker, but Loeb would have wanted more. Only 2.3 seconds made up. So that's the first two on their way. The third man hoping to build a challenge for the top spot is Ford's Jari-Matti Latvala. With Loeb not quite woken up, could that provide an opportunity for the Finn? He started the day just under 20 seconds behind, and Jari's splits have looked really impressive. Wow, that's 7.1 quicker than Loeb and 9.4 better than the rally leader. Quite some start to the day for Latvala. He was the big mover in stage 7, taking a healthy step closer to the leading pair. Hirvonen slipped slightly adrift in 4th, with Oyt Tanak still looking safe in 5th. Over to the first running of El Priorat next, and the fans are already lining the road by the famous El Malar hairpin. The passionate Spanish spectators, as ever, a key component to this event's fabulous atmosphere. And back in the stage, our rally leader Osberg is already underway. But he's off the road, and that is the sign that Mads is feeling the pressure. He's dropped right down into the ditch, and he is completely disorientated. The time is ticking away. And Mads could lose the lead here despite his big lead, creeping his way through the undergrowth. He needs to find a way back on the road. Disaster early on for the adapter driver. He is back on his way and welcomed by the fans at the hairpin, but it could be goodbye to the top spot. That must have rattled him. Mads has lost the best part of half a minute already. Oh, and almost another big off. Osberg on the ragged edge at the moment.
Yeah, I should have been a bit more clever because I went off the road. I just tried to push really hard and went off and lost a lot of time. So very, very bad decision. I'm really disappointed now, but it's still a long way to go, and we just have to try to get back into the rhythm.
Here comes Loeb now, looking much more comfortable in the car after some pre-stage setup tweaks. And he will have heard from the team that Osberg has dropped time ahead of him. Surely the world champion is on course to move into the lead. The fans at the El Malar hairpin delighted to see the Frenchman passing by. And with Osberg in trouble, Loeb does indeed move into the lead for the first time this weekend. It was a good start to the morning for Jari-Matti Latvala on today's opening stage, but the Finn is not matching the split times of Sebastian through here. More critically though, he is going to move up to second ahead of the ailing Mads Osberg. Well, it's all go at the front of the field. Mikko Hirvonen is beginning to slip adrift of the leading group meanwhile. The Finn just doesn't seem to be able to get to grips with the DS3 on damp tarmac. He sits in a solid fourth place for now. Catalan roads, as ever, wide and flowing as Mikko searches for the fastest line. So both Loeb and Latvala have capitalised on Osberg's mistake as he drops down to third. Mads is now into stage 9. That off in El Priorat must have shattered his confidence. Part of that can be blamed on his tyre choice today. Expecting damper conditions, he opted for a mixture of both soft and hard compounds, but the rain just hasn't come. Meanwhile, Sebastian Loeb is on course for another stage win here. Normal service has been resumed. The world champion back in his familiar position at the top of the leaderboard. But after an extensive testing program on tarmac, Latvala's performance on the black stuff has improved significantly. He now seems the only man who can take the fight to Loeb. Latvala is struggling to match Loeb's pace at the moment, and that mud on the road won't be helping. Latvala really struggling to get the power down. It's incredibly slippery in places. Grip a guessing game at times for the Finn after the preceding cars have passed through.
It's difficult to do. What do you follow it? And I think they follow. He maybe followed the line to cut a little bit, and then it spreads all over the road. So that's the game what you get, maybe your first car on the road. But Loeb is really good. I don't know. I would like to fight against him, but I don't know where I can find that little bit.
So at the midway point of the day, Sebastian Loeb's lead stands at 18.9 seconds over Latvala, with Mads now another half a minute further back. Mikko Hirvonen remains fourth, with Tanak in fifth. Close eye on the top three of Loeb, Latvala and Osberg in particular. Already the split times are once again showing that Mads Osberg is off the pace. The Norwegian really struggling for confidence in the car today, and he is losing ground. If this carries on, he could well slip back behind Mikko Hirvonen to fourth.
Was quite okay the stage, but it's just that little extra. I need to try to get that back because Loeb took, I think it took 8 seconds of us now on this stage, and it's quite a lot of time, so we shouldn't lose that much, but not 100% happy with the setup, so I will try to change the car a little bit and hopefully we can increase the speed.
Fast approaching the end of the stage is our rally leader Sebastian Loeb. He is the man to beat now. Those early setup problems a thing of the past as he continues to extend his lead at the front. The world champion, of course, hoping to stretch his winning run here to 8 years. He's always excelled on Spain's fast-flowing tarmac roads. Jari-Matti Latvala looks to be the only man capable of taking the fight to the Frenchman, but it's not been an easy morning for the Finn. He has not been comfortable in these unpredictable conditions.
This wasn't my condition, and Loeb is really good on those, so maybe car was a little bit too soft, but there was nothing what I could do on that stage more.
So after stage 10 then, the positions remain the same, but just look at the gap from Hirvonen to Osberg, down to 5.5 seconds. As we head back to the longest tarmac stage of this year's championship, El Priorat, followed by the second running of the Riba-Roja Debre stage. For Loeb, this has been the perfect day. After slipping and sliding his way through the mud on day one, he is back on form and pulling away from the chasing pack. This is the man that everyone's keeping an eye on, though. Mikko Hirvonen has closed right up on Osberg after the Norwegian struggles on tarmac. And after a clean run through El Priorat, the Finn does indeed steal the final podium spot from Mads. And a quick word for an undoubted star of the future, Ireland's Craig Breen, on course to take the Super 2000 World Rally Championship at his first attempt, and incredibly running in 7th overall, mixing it with the World Rally cars. It has been a disastrous day though for Mads Osberg. The Adapter team driver has dropped from 1st to 4th over the course of this second leg. Back with the rally leader, and Loeb has just been unstoppable in the Spanish mountains today. That unbeaten run at the Rally Catalunya since 2005 set to continue. Latvala is the only man in any kind of position to challenge the Frenchman on the final day, but he will have to up his game. He's got one final chance to make an impression on the leader's advantage here. .935.3, and once again, he's just a couple of seconds slower than Sebastian.
I can't get him. I'm sorry. I don't have words. It just, I don't know. I'm just disappointed, but that's the way it is.
He is fantastic on tarmac, isn't he?
Yes, he is. That's all I can say. I just need to work more and learn.
So at the end of the second day here in Spain, Loeb leads by 27 seconds from Latvala, but the big news, a fastest time from Tanak in the final stage has demoted Osberg to 5th, and if things stay as they are, Latvala will claim 3rd place in the championship. Welcome back to Spain, where the final rally of 2012 has just one day remaining on the Catalan asphalt. And here's what's in store. Based closer to Rally HQ in Salou, the drivers have a total of 6 stages covering 94 kilometres. The final action of 2012, the 16 kilometres of Rio de Cañas is up first, and with the Spanish fans streaming into the stages, somewhat fittingly, it's 9-time world champion and rally leader Sebastian Loeb who gets us underway. Loeb and Daniel Elena storm away into the Catalan countryside, potentially for the last time, with the sport's most successful ever driver stepping back from a full campaign in 2013. The Frenchman has always felt at home on these wide, sweeping roads. It's the closest rallying gets to circuit racing. So some early practice here for Seb as he considers a potential switch to World Touring cars.
250 mètres, gauche 110 plus long.
Loeb on his way then. Latvala 2 is into stage 13, but with a gap of almost half a minute to the man in first. He faces a tough task getting back on terms.
Varovaisen 1 jarru, 10 risteysvasen 7 ja kajantaa ahdas.
It's Jari's final day with Ford though, so he'll keep on pushing all the way to the finish. We'll see how he gets on in Rio de Cañas. Loeb did a 10:36. This is going to be close. Not quite half a second slower. The status quo continues in the fight for victory.
Jari half a second down on Sebastian. You look disappointed again.
Yeah, he is going really, really fast in this rally. I have no chance. I don't have a chance against him, to be honest. I was pretty happy with my driving. I improved from with the setup from yesterday, but still it's not enough.
Latvala sounds like he's conceding defeat, but there is still a bit of a fight on for the final podium place. Mikko Hirvonen is the man in third at the moment, but he has Oyt Tanak and Mads Osberg both within 20 seconds. Fernando, the Sardinia winner, is looking comfortable on the Spanish tarmac. And an interesting innovation from the organisers here, adding a full 360 around the hairpin in the routes for a crowd-pleasing donut.
120. Huomio, varo pitkä oikein, loiva.
The fight for third could be warming up then. Former leader Mads Osberg had a frustrating run on day 2, but with his setup changed for this final day, could we see a late charge? Getting back into third in the rally would ensure he pips Latvala in that tight fight for third place in the championship. Quicker than Hirvonen, but slower than Tanak. Mads, at least, is back up to speed this morning. Osberg remains in 5th place for now, but that fight for third is still too close to call. Out front, Latvala remains more than 27 seconds behind Loeb, but further back there's no sign of Evgeny Novikov, the Russian having been handed a 10-minute time penalty for excessive tyre wear.
On the wall, baby.
So, moving on to the second 2 stages of the morning loop.
I just want the flag on the wall. If they put it on the wall.
Jari-Matti Latvala has been trying to take the fight to Sebastian Loeb on tarmac. So far, he hasn't been able to challenge the world champion's pace. His luck could be changing here, though. He's 2.6 seconds quicker than Loeb through stage 14. But with the kilometres running out, it could be too little, too late for the Finn. Despite a couple of near misses this weekend, it's been a good WRC debut for our friend Hans Weiss, running in 6th overall.
Slow. 50, links 2 draait door, kneept iets. Plus links 2 snel.
Oh, but he's lost it. Well, they say it's a steep learning curve in the WRC, and there is proof that, unsurprisingly, is the end of the road for the Dutchman. Way too much speed into that left-hander and a big spin. So after stage 15, Latvala's closed the gap slightly to Loeb, while Osberg moves ahead of Tanak to 4th. Further down with Hans Weiss out, Jarkko Nakara moves up to 6th, ahead of Craig Breen, who remains on course to claim the SWRC title. So Sebastian Loeb on his way to completing another all-conquering season with win number 76. But that's only a fraction of the success about to be celebrated here by French tyre manufacturer Michelin. Poised to record their 250th WRC victory, Michelin, a name synonymous with World Rally since it began back in 1973. Plenty of famous names and iconic cars in Michelin shod rubber. Over the past 30 years, the WRC a perfect platform for tyre design and development.
All these victories have been won in open tyre competition, and for Michelin it's important to have this kind of competition, and World Rally Championship is a very good place because we learn a lot. The cars have to run on very different surfaces and very different conditions, and it's important also to be in competition to learn something, to develop the tyres for everybody.
So back to the action, and the Michelin tyres could still play their part today. With the cars serviced after the midday break, it is back out to the stages for the second loop, starting with Rio de Cañas. It's been quite a finale to the 2012 season for the Spanish spectators. Jari-Matti Latvala has outpaced Loeb all day so far. It's never been more important to do so. He needs to push to the absolute limit to stop Mads Østberg from stealing third place in the championship. But he's gambled on 4 hard compound Michelins, and rain is forecast for later. Nevertheless, it's a clean run through for Jari-Matti. Tanak's had a mixed day as he tries to hold on to 5th place.
5 miinus lahti 4 peal. 100. Nukk leipar on 6 miinus kiire.
Oh, but that's a big mistake. He has smashed his Fiesta into the Armco and ripped the suspension off the car. He joins Weiss on today's retirement list. A difficult season ends on another sour note for Tanak. That is not the way he wanted to end his weekend or his year.
Went wide and hit the barrier. That's it basically. That's how the things usually happens when you are pushing the limits a bit.
Pushing too hard?
Obviously, yes.
And so we move on to the penultimate stage of 2012, the second running of Santa Marina, and this is our power stage. It's the one that will decide third place in this year's championship. The gap from Østberg to Hirvonen down to just 15 seconds. Our rally leader, Sebastian Loeb, has played it safe in here. With a possibility of rain, the world champion has opted for a mixture of soft and hard compound Michelins. But it's not really raining. The hard tyre is still the one to be on, and this will be costing Seb some time. Not a problem for Latvala, who is on the hard tyres. He is flying in here. Well clear of Loeb's split times. If ever there was an example of how to drive fast on tarmac, this is it. Complete commitment from Jari. He's definitely on for the fastest time so far. 15:43.5, and that is the benchmark. Mikko Hirvonen back in the stage has taken the same strategy as his teammate on the soft tyres. They're definitely the slower compound to be on. Conditions still too dry. And that means if Mads can beat Latvala through here, it could be enough for third in Spain and give him the points he needs for third in the championship. This is the most important stage of his career. Nearing the flying finish now, the split show he's well down on Latvala. Jari did a 15:43.5 and he's already well past that. 16:00.6 miles behind Latvala. Third in the championship is slipping away. Further back, Danny Sordo's had an awesome day. The rain is starting to come down harder, but he's still second quickest through the power stage. Despite 20 minutes of penalties from day one, he's back up to 9th overall. Latvala won the power stage, and those extra 3 points almost confirms his third place in the championship. Sordo's second quickest, with Loeb in third. With just one stage remaining, Sebastian's lead is down to just 9.1 seconds over Latvala, and we head to the final stage of the year, the 4.1 kilometres of La Serra d'Almos. For Sebastian Loeb, this is quite simply a case of bringing that car home for his 9th win of the year and victory number 76. What a way for the Frenchman to end his glittering career after 9 incredible full years in the championship. Just a part campaign, remember, in 2013. But Sebastian's 2012 is finished in quite some style.
It's been great having you around for the last few years. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
It's unlikely that Latvala will spoil Loeb's Spanish party with 9 seconds to make up. Nevertheless, all he has to do is bring his Fiesta home for the runner-up spot in Spain. And of course, this will be the last time we see the Finn in the seat of a factory Ford as he moves to VW in 2013. So keep an eye on the clock. It's unlikely he could overhaul the deficit in just 4 kilometres. 2:38.4, it doesn't challenge Loeb's top spot, but it does seal third position in the championship.
Actually, I would like to do one more stage. I think if there are any more stages to go, we could have a good fight with Loeb. This is what I need now, but okay, anyway. It's a good feeling to finish this rally. It's same, it's we couldn't win the tarmac rally, which is my passion. It's still I have to look for the future for that. But once again, we have learned good things in this rally.
Meanwhile, it's looking like a consolation podium for Mikko Hirvonen. Has been a fantastic debut year in the Citroën team for the Finn, and of course he will be the main man at the French team next season. For now, he settles for second in the championship and holds off Osberg to secure third spot overall in Spain. So there is confirmation of Loeb's victory here in Catalonia. Jari-Matti Latvala just 7 seconds behind in the runner-up spot, with Hirvonen third, Osberg confirmed in fourth. Jarkko de Cara takes a fantastic fifth, and it's an equally impressive sixth for Super 2000 champion Craig Breen. Back at service, it's an emotional Citroën team who welcome back Loeb. He ends his full-time WRC career on a high, winner in Spain once again.
It was a great year for us. We won nine rallies. Our record is 10, so it was one of our best seasons for sure. And to finish the season with a victory is really nice, especially here. It's a nice rally. I won it, I think now 8 times. No, I think so. So it was good not to lose the last one. So yeah, I'm happy, very happy with the season we've done.
So to the final championship standings. Loeb and Hirvonen already confirmed as the top 2 finishers. Jari-Matti Latvala secures third place, just 5 points ahead of Mads Osberg, with Peder Solberg fifth. Citroën wrapped up the manufacturer's title in France. The Ford World Rally team ending their year on 309 points, the M Sport 4 boys 170. As Loeb and Daniel Elena enjoy another victory, they share it with Michelin, who celebrate their 250th win in the WRC. It's unlikely to be the French pairing's last victory. Loeb and Elena will be back in a Citroën to compete in a limited programme for 2013. It's been a year of thrills, spills, highs and lows across 4 different continents over snow, mud, gravel and tarmac. And after it all, Loeb has reigned supreme. The WRC returns for Rally Monte Carlo in January. Until then, we'll leave you with some of the best shots from another incredible year.